Welcome into the Landon Tengwall Show, sponsored by the Student Bookstore, Downtown State College. I am joined by the host of the obligatory pregame show, Chris Buchanani. Chris, before you talk, let me start out by making this statement. That was the worst loss in Penn State football history. And before I open this debate with the Penn State historian himself, let me go through a couple things and reasons why I feel. Let me set the scene for why this is the worst loss. The highest expectations of the 21st century for Penn State football. Franklin, at Big Ten Media Day, comes out and says that this is the best personnel of his career. UCLA is 0-4, and they are the worst team in Power 4 football. In the majority of stat categories in the FBS, they were just about dead last in everything. They fired their head coach, their defensive coordinator, and then their offensive coordinator this past week, but all of those within a 3-week span. The announcers pregame were saying, hey, just try to keep it close if you're UCLA. You probably can't win, but just try your best is what they were saying.
It was good advice, just in the other direction.
It was. Your $3.1 million defensive coordinator, the highest paid defensive coordinator in all of college football, gets outcoached by Prince Charming from Shrek, who had 2 days of prep and admitted that he had never called plays before and that he was calling plays when his microphone wasn't even down, so the plays weren't even getting in correctly, and you still lose. They still put up 42 points on you. Penn State's head coach was completely outcoached. Penn State was a top 10 team, and they lost to an 0-4 team. That has only happened one time since John F. Kennedy was the president of the United States. So, Booch, I propose the question one more time. Is this the worst loss in Penn State football history?
I kind of thought he looked more like Sunshine from Remember the Titans.
That's a good one. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, okay. All due respect to the great Shane McGregor, by the way. There's a deep cut for some of you Penn State football fans out there. Okay. The worst. Can we put one asterisk on it?
All right.
And say the worst of the modern era? Because we did once lose 106-0 to Lehigh in 1889. So that's still probably the worst loss in Penn State football history.
All right, I'll take that.
Would you get blanked and you give up triple digits? That's rough.
Triple digits will be number one. All right.
So game was a little different back then.
Just a touch.
Yeah.
Different scoring system, probably.
Yes.
I just want to say, because I've seen Toledo, because I'm sure everybody's having their game out there. I've seen Toledo 2000.
Toledo 2000. That was my first game on the Lion 90.7 as a student broadcaster. Okay. And I got to watch us get pounded, by the way, by Chester Taylor and the Toledo Rockets. Brutal. That was a tough one.
Team ended up being 10-1.
But very good team. Had some NFL talent on it. Well coached. Gary Pinkel was their head coach. But more importantly, that Penn State team was bad. Very low expectations coming off the 99 season. We offloaded a lot of talent. They ended up only winning 5 games that year.
Right. Okay. I've seen Iowa 2004, the 6-4 game, right?
Very embarrassing, very terrible.
Embarrassing, but Penn State was 2-4 at the time. I'm sorry. When you're 2-4, you can't have the worst loss of your program history. You're 2-4.
Coming off already 3 losing seasons in 4 years, you kind of knew what you were getting.
I'm with you there. Minnesota 99, I've seen mentioned. Yes, awful. Ruined the perfect season. I think that would be the one that would be up there the most. But Minnesota that year ended 18th in the AP poll. I once again go back to all of the things I listed. I don't think it's close. I get that was a heartbreaker.
They were not the worst team in Division 1A at the time. Yeah.
There we go. And I've also seen, I was there for it, Illinois 9 overtime, that 2021 team.
The last time James Franklin blew it as the number 7 team in the country. Not to rip the scab off. Sorry.
Oh, my God. Yeah, no, I know. I think that was horrendous, but I still don't think that takes the cake.
Yeah. Iowa for me is the worst loss I've experienced as a fan, a sports fan. Gut wrenching for a bunch of reasons I won't go into because people don't need to be made to feel worse today. But it's tough to argue when you juxtapose the expectations, the talent, the stakes, and just the abysmal state of the opponent. I mean, it's almost like a joke that they were minus. They're starting, or it's not starting. They're the head coach and coordinators they started the year with. It's insane. This team got their doors blown off by New Mexico, Landon.
Glad we have Northwestern next week who beat UCLA, so that's good. You know, the worst part about all this is you start to look at the rest of the schedule, and everything looks in play for a loss after you lose to a team like UCLA. Booch, I want to get into where Penn State was outcoached. Everywhere.
Yeah.
The onside kick to start. That's when I think everybody had the oh crap moment where it was like, oh, we're sleepwalking in California. We clearly were not prepared. The clock management before half, that was crazy. And James Franklin kind of tried to explain it off that we were trying to score with no time left and not give them the ball.
Let me talk about that for a moment, because I have dogged James on his clock management over and over the years, and I think he's gotten a lot better with it. People aren't going to want to hear it, but I do think what Penn State was trying to do was at least defensible, which is you're saying these guys are running up and down the field on us. We cannot afford to give up any points. What we've got to do is make this a low-risk, high-reward proposition where we either get points at the end or we go into the locker room with status quo. The problem is they executed that strategy and still gave up 3 more points.
I'm going to go crazy. And I'll just say not to get – I brought Booch on here because we're just going to just shoot the crap and just go at it. But when UCLA got the ball, instead of playing soft zone, making sure you're sitting at the sticks, when UCLA got the ball with about 20 seconds left on their side of the field, we went in man coverage. They ran a man beater. They got the first down. Instead of saying, hey, we're going to give you the underneath, we'll make the tackle. You're going to have to run the clock no matter what. We went man coverage. They gained 12 yards. They threw one more pass. They got 3 points. Absolutely horrific coaching by the defense, by James Franklin as a whole. All right, next up, you have not rushing the punter at all on the safety at the end, where I think it was clear to just about everybody, I guess, except James Franklin, that that's what UCLA was going to do.
What drives me nuts is that exact scenario played out twice last week at the college and pro level, or last 2 weeks. I can't remember exactly. You saw it in the Iowa game in college and in the Eagles game in the NFL, where a team needed to run the clock. And so they did the runaround and take the intentional safety thing. And we've heard, haven't we, over the years about every week they pull up situational football. From games
always sending things to each other. I'm always sending texts to this guy, seeing this.
Yeah, so
how are you not ready?
Yeah, it's not like it was something that you couldn't have imagined that was going to happen. We just saw it twice.
I think Franklin, he does this from Tails. He slightly threw. I don't even know who the hell is our special teams coordinator at this point. Who gives a shit?
Justin Lustig.
Lustig. He kind of threw him under the bus a little, but he said, he was talking about the onside kick, and he basically said, hey, I told everybody, all week long this team was going to be doing anything they could to get an edge, and he kind of just said, yeah, they did it. I mean, Lustig needs to be getting ripped right now. Needs to be getting absolutely ripped.
There's an expression about what runs downhill that I'll just leave for the audience to conclude, but I'll just use a Remember the Titans quote instead for my second reference to that film in this program. Attitude reflects leadership.
There we go. Yeah, the attitude was I'll say it. It was piss poor. Kaytron Allen, I'm sorry. I apologize to you. I'm sorry that I couldn't have done more for you when I played. I'm sorry that you were it's coaching malpractice. No other way to put it. Right now, versus UCLA, Allen averaged 6.3 yards per carry. Singleton averaged 3.5 yards per carry. And guess what? Nick had 3 more carries than Kaytron. The story of the season. And by the way, 2 of Allen's, of his 8 carries, 2 of his 8 were touchdowns. So he also got capped on his yardage there. So he probably would have been over 7 yards per carry if there was no more yards for him to get on 2 of his 8 carries. You get what I'm saying? So
yes, that's a great point.
Yeah. So shout out to
They don't give you the yards in the end zone.
You don't get the yards in the end zone. So he could have had more. He should have been at 7 yards per carry.
And by the way, Nick had the ball at the end on the drive that's going to determine really the fate of your program going forward.
I don't get
mystifying.
It's got to be an NIL thing. Maybe Nick was paid more than Kaytron, and that's
who cares. This is what I don't understand, Landon. All this money's guaranteed. This is not the NFL. Like, these guys don't get performance bonuses. They can't. It's against the few rules they're still enforcing. At the end of the day, like, they're going to get their money. What happened to compete in everything you do, and you must be willing to sacrifice?
Well, I'll tell you, most of them already have the money in their bank account. I've talked about this on my live show that because of the way the cap was set up this year, starting July 1, a lot of people got paid their money before July 1 this year.
So great, good for them. So why are we still handing out snaps based on who got paid what? Who cares?
I don't know. You got a full belly, you're full, and you're just hanging out. Here's a stat for the season. Singleton has 9 more carries than Katron Allen has on the year. Singleton is averaging 3.8 yards per carry. Allen, 7 yards per carry. Once again, coaching malpractice. There's no other way to put it. There is an issue. There is a unwillingness to change in the Lash football building. And I know I'm a letterman. I would like to go around there. I don't want to go around there right now. Just be honest. Like, I mean, I've had lettermen reach out to me. I've had tens of lettermen reach out to me over the past 24 hours, just saying, what the hell is this? What is going on? This is not the program that we left it as. Jawan Sider, you won. Congrats, brother. Just saying.
Man, I'm thinking about that now. Thanks so much.
Booch, I'll continue down the list. 2 offsides, by the way, on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. Are we serious? And by the way, the 2 offsides, Zariah Fisher, a 6th-year player, and Zane Durant, a 4th-year basically starter. And those are the 2 offsides in critical moments. I mean, let's talk about the not spying, the mobile quarterback that has more rushes. I think he had 15 more rushes than their starting running back on the year. And you're going to come into the game. And by the way, not only not spy him. It's not like, hey, he took off on the first 3rd down of the game and then we started spying him. Booch, I just watched the tape. We didn't bring out a spy until the 4th quarter. And that was after the 60-yard run by Nico. I mean, what? What an unwillingness to adjust by the Penn State defense. Stubborn and just plain out ignorant. I mean, and then the first time we bring out the spy, guess who you put out there? 275-pound denied Dennis Sutton, who gets absolutely shook by Nico, just going one way, comes back the other, didn't stand a chance on 3rd and goal, and UCLA punches their ticket basically to a win at that point. James Franklin was asked about it in the press conference. His response, we lost the guy that would have been the spy. Come up with an answer! Zakee Wheatley in the Notre Dame game against Riley Leonard. He spied Riley Leonard multiple times. Came up, it went great. Well, maybe figure something out there. How do you not come up with an answer? That is your job. That is what you're paid to do.
Can you explain to me? Okay, look, I understand the linebacker position has become devalued in modern football. I do get that. And so the days of the neck roll, linebacking core, those are over, and that's cool. Like the Brandon Shorts and Mac Morrisons, and even like the Papas Leslie and Dan Connor types, that's not modern football. There's 8 guys, Landon. There's 8 linebackers, including the majority who have spent at minimum 18 months in the program, who just don't see a snap. And I'm left with one of 2 conclusions. All of them are just so bad and so poorly developed that it is such a liability to put them on the field that they're just functionally useless. They're taking up 10% of the roster, doing nothing. Or we're so stubborn, so set in our ways, so unwilling to take risks, even in this moment, that we doomed ourselves by not trying something different when what we were doing was clearly not working. Either one is inexcusable.
I'm with you on that. Where do we go from here, Booch? How do you feel about it?
Well, how do you feel this morning, Landon? Because I was obviously laughing like the Joker from The Dark Knight at the opening of this August program. And I think probably a little less angry than people were expecting me to be. But honest to God, my personal feeling is like a little bit of calm, a little bit of relief, honestly, because we have what we have not had from some people's perspective for years in this program, and that's clarity.
Would you say
you can't be a serious program and be at this spot and have there be no serious consequences, right?
Would you say by the end? I think I said this in my live chat yesterday. I think most of the fans were in agreement with this. A lot of people were rooting for UCLA by the end because it was like, if we somehow escape here, it's going to be torture.
It's a one-way ticket to purgatory.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think most people were kind of happy, almost, that we, like you said, it was almost a coming to terms with it all. It was okay. I've accepted it. You can only just laugh at this point, and that's kind of where you go from there.
You kind of feel like maybe the marriage had been going bad for a while, and nobody wanted to come out and admit it, right? I don't know the name of the movie. There's this movie on Netflix. It's got Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. I haven't seen this movie. I see clips of it online. And it's just those two just screaming at each other. Every clip I see online is just these two people screaming at each other. And the movie, I guess, is about they get a divorce. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, God, I don't want to watch this movie. That 3-minute clip made my skin crawl. You got Darth, whatever his name is, and Black Widow screaming at each other. And I'm like, they would just be so much happier if they kind of settled their differences and went their separate ways.
Marriage Story.
Okay, there you go. So Marriage Story, Tengwall. You get what I'm saying here.
I hear what you're saying. A lot of fighting. You're not doing the deed a lot. You both know it's coming to a close. And
I don't like you. You don't like me.
It is decided.
It was a good run.
Here we go. As far as logistically, let's just put this out there for the fans. You can't part with $50+ million at this moment right now. That's not going to happen.
No, maybe not right out of pocket.
Right.
But I believe that necessity is the mother of invention. And, not for nothing, the annual budget of Penn State University is $10 billion. So, the money tree gets shook in a lot of different ways. And there are ways to be creative, I guess, is what I'm saying. But I do think we are at a point where it's of no return, right?
Yeah.
I just don't see how you come back from this.
I'm in agreement. I think it is. I think that relationship is probably severed, and you got to just continue to move forward. I don't blame any fans that do not want to show up to Northwestern or any game from here on out. I am sorry that you have spent your hard-earned money on this program.
I heard some people. It was Sarah on your live show talking about the Pirates example. If people keep showing up, I think the one difference is that those tickets are already sold. So I'm going to be there. Like, I'm a Penn State fan. It's homecoming. I'm going to be in.
Yeah, you already spent your money. Yeah.
Now, not everybody gets to be on camera behind a microphone and voice their displeasure like I do, but I hear from plenty of them. Sorry, I lost the ability to keep responding to the Twitter messages. It just got overwhelming over the last few days. But I hear you. You're heard. And we're going to do our best, I think, Landon, you, me, guys on Obligatory, to be a voice for the fans and just kind of be real, as we always have been, about how we see it. But look, I'm not going to tell anybody to not show up. And I'm not even going to tell anybody not to boo. I always say, if you want to boo, boo. I'm an Eagles fan. It's tough love, right? I just think I will say that, man, I have empathy for the players. I really do. I understand, they're not kids. They're getting paid, blah, blah, blah. They're still human beings, and they're still Penn Staters, and a lot of them could have gone elsewhere, and instead they decided to play football for Penn State this season. And I respect that, and I appreciate it. And I don't want those guys to feel abandoned, because come hell or high water, they're going to be Nittany Lions for life. And there have been other teams that have been through some shit at this program of various sorts, and they're all Penn Staters, and we appreciate all of them. So, look, it's easy to get mad, and you should be mad. And I am mad under the sanguine exterior, because I've just gone through this so many damn times. I can't just keep doing the outrage thing over and over. But on the other hand, trust me, Neely and Pat Kraft and that coaching staff, they know. I mean, it was like, watching the Green Mile there the last few minutes of that game. They knew what was going on.
Yeah.
They knew what was happening.
I want to jump on what you just said. I as much as everybody probably wants to rag on him, I feel for Drew Aller. I think that is a person that has not been put in a position to win. Whatever you want to say, if you think he's not a good quarterback, you cannot say that he has been put in a good position to win. I'm sorry, to succeed, any of that, he has not. And I feel for the guy to a degree. And like I said, I feel for a lot of them. Number one being Katron Allen, just because I see how hard he works. And I see that he is the spark of the offense, and you don't give him the carries, and it doesn't make any sense. We will be on Obligatory a little bit later this week. We're going to, like you said, be a voice for the fans. When you come to the Landon Tengwall show, when you come to For the Bloggy, it is a voice for the fans. You're not going to get any of the crap of trying to massage things. You're just going to get how you guys feel. So we'll have that. I'll be doing a full defensive film breakdown on For the Bloggy tomorrow morning. It's going to be out Monday morning, so that'll be
Can't
good.
wait for that.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I'm basically just going to go through it. Real quick, just sometimes some people like to come here for the analytical stuff. I kind of push that one to the side. I'll read a text real quick that I sent to a high-up person in the media business, kind of asked me what happened to the defense. I said, no QB spy until the fourth quarter. When we did, 275-pound denied Dennis Sutton, had no shot. Absolutely just ridiculous to do that. I said way too much slanting and replacing, meaning we were moving guys and trying to plug in linebackers, and they were picking up the movement beautifully. And by the way, UCLA's offensive line struggled mightily when Northwestern was slanting and moving. I don't know what happened. Our defensive tackles, way too light. That we need a 320 guy. It's just that simple. Penn State ran the same blitz 4 to 5 times. It's called Axe. We'll look at it in the film breakdown. It kept getting gashed in the run game, and we kept running it. There was no adjustment. On defense. Obviously, Dom DeLuca, Tony Rojas' replacement, had one of the worst days of his career. Just very slow to get into the places that he needed to get into. There was really no pass rush the entire first half. UCLA wanted it more. That is how I ended the text. Actually, I ended the text with final thought. Jim Knowles just got outcoached by a guy who never called plays before and had 2 days to figure it all out. And I said, sad stuff. Sorry, wanted to give you a little bit of, if you're here for the X's and O's, but you'll get that on For the Bloggy tomorrow morning. Booch.
Yeah.
Thanks for fighting through this one.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
Hang in there, everybody.
Try your best. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.